Good morning. Cheryl is on the call. Good morning, McCare. It's kind of weird coming into Panera Bread and setting up your camera and your video. And we got a little light in the background there. And waiting for my buddy Greg to get here. He's walking in now. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Greg. My teammate Greg just got here. So let me get started with you guys while everybody's jumping on this morning. Mexico, I saw your pictures, Margaret. Those are amazing pictures. I'm sure 5 million other people would love to be there with you today. Okay, so I want to talk about two things today while we're waiting for everybody to jump on. I just want to touch on the inflammation piece real quick. I did a fast yesterday. We'll probably do it today. But anyway, 2 pounds came off in 24 hours. And so just as I was showering and getting ready this morning, I was thinking about this whole issue of inflammation. So just a quick reminder to you guys as we're getting started. Good morning, Rhonda. Good morning, Maya. Inflammation is a devastating, nasty thing. But the good news is we have the power to control it. The question is, do we have the discipline to deal with how inflammation is coming into our lives, whether it's through our food, through our relationships, through our work, through our environment? But what just hit me is like we have the power to deal with inflammation. We have the power to deal with these destructive things in our life if we're willing to step up to the plate and take control of that. So anyway, this morning I'm at Panera, which meant my time was a little bit short, and so I got up this morning and I was challenged a little bit. You've gotten used to hearing that. Thanks for sharing, Sharon. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing on Facebook, everybody. Thanks for inviting people to our community. So anyway, normally what happens is, and we may run about 3 or 4 minutes late today. This may be about a 15-minute scope. I didn't do prep for the call because the red ink part of my morning went for like 5 pages. And so I said, Lord, what are we covering today? And he said, I want you to do the red ink part of your morning. So you guys are going to get right from what happened this morning for me, the red ink, because I think it applies to what's going on in your life. Brenda, thank you for sharing. Organized Time, thank you for sharing. So I started out this morning and I was struggling. I said, Lord, open my heart. So I'm going to be reading today a little bit. I'm not going to connect with you guys as much on the camera. I don't want to miss anything and I want to stay focused. So I said, Lord, open my heart to you this morning. Guard my words so that I bless and I don't hurt, because there's some stuff wanting to come out of me. I was wanting to do this thing called I told you so to some folks. You know, I was kind of feeling like that, the resentment and the resistance raising up in me. And I didn't want to go there, so I just said, Lord, I don't want this today. I said, cleanse my heart of wanting to say I told you so, of wanting to be right, of wanting to reach out and hurt instead of bless. Lord, I acknowledge your hand in protecting me through all of my stuff, all of my junk. Nurture the purity in my heart, and let me truly nurture what you're birthing in me right now. Good morning, Darlene. So the rest of this morning is going to be the red ink part of the day, and it was really cool. I think it applies to you guys. So wherever this connects, you just get to do what you want to do with it. You're my community, you're my family, and there's some special stuff the Lord wants to do all with you guys. Good morning, Ashley. This is what's happening, Forrest. When you don't have something encouraging to say, it's not from me. So renew and cleanse your mind, wash your mouth out. I remember when I taught 5th grade, I actually took this little girl and washed her mouth out with soap. Then after the fact, I thought that could probably get a guy fired. But anyway, it was a great experience and one we'll both remember. He said, do you want to perpetrate your past by babbling in stupid words? Or do you want to nurture what is being birthed in you? So there's a choice we have on what comes out of our mouth and how it's going to impact us. This is from Song of Songs 7. Y'all know that Song of Songs 7, the Passion Translation, is, Deborah remembers bubbles, yeah. Song of Songs 7 is my inheritance scripture for this year. It's the prophetic word that the Lord has spoken over me. It said, Forrest, do you want what's in you to come forth from the purity that you impart, or do you want what's in you to come forth as recycled looping from the junk in your flesh? What's wanting to be birthed in you has been protected from the ugliness of your life. Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm just writing this stuff, guys. I didn't make this up. This is just coming to me as I go. But I've kept it safe inside its shell, waiting to be nurtured by the purity of your spirit. And that's happening because you've now invited me into your heart. But today, more than ever, the enemy, your old self, the old programs, is fighting for survival, trying to protect you. So this is the real thing. The enemy, that my old self is trying to protect me from where I'm getting ready to go. Your old self is fighting for survival, trying to protect you from the new and from the unknown, trying to keep you in your old and familiar company of thoughts. Guys, are your old and familiar thoughts so comfortable that they're keeping you stuck. This is why you were crucified with me. Only the new can come forward into this new season. Only the new can come forward. The analogy is, if you have a glass of water and you put one drop of food coloring into it, that food coloring will dilute and change the color of the entire glass. So the revelation of the crucifixion is that we get to move forward with the new, but we don't get to bring forward the old all fixed and patched up. The Lord doesn't want us coming forward with that. Remember those old retread tires? You patch them up and you see all the patches on the tires. We're not going forward with that. We're going forward with new tires. Okay, back to the red part. There is too much risk to let you come forward with the old. Forrest, this all requires faith in the new. But I have waited so long for now. God has waited. You think you've waited. I thought this was cute. He said, you think you've waited a long time. No, I've waited. I've watched. I've believed in you. I know the seed, and I desire above all for it to blossom and grow into its full glory and to fulfill its purpose. Okay, this is important. So the choice we have is we can blow on the flame that's trying to start. It's been a long, cold, dark winter. Imagine yourself outside, a long, cold, dark night. And you've been working with your little fire starter, trying to get the flame to go. And finally, you got a little spark. And there's a little smoke coming up out of it. Now, if you've been going through a long, cold, dark night or day, and you got a little smoke coming out of the sparker thing, you got the mosses starting to light up, are you going to start blowing negative crap on that? I mean, do you really want the old garbage coming out? No, you want your total focus on blowing life into that spark, into igniting. That's the power of blessing. The power of blessing is that the blessing blows life into what's getting ready to happen in you. So as I was struggling, I'll digress here, this takes me back to yesterday. I talked about my big breakthrough in January 2014, where I was really struggling with some people, some business relationships in my life. And my wife and my daughter said, if you will just go to this corporate event, and every time you start to think a negative piece of crap about somebody, which in my mind was like all the time, I said, just bless them. So the lesson was really simple. So I went to that event, and probably about once every minute, minute and a half, I had to say, Lord bless so-and-so, Lord bless so-and-so. All I said quietly, but out loud to myself, was Lord bless them. And what that did is it allowed me to take literally every thought captive, because there was no room for anything else to come out. By the end of that 3 days, I had, as Cheryl will tell you, the transformational, most significant shift in my life that I had to that date. And it's probably why we're where we're at today. So when you're blowing on that flame, the simplicity of that flame when you're in a struggling relationship or a challenge is to blow blessing on it. It's very simple. You don't have to say anything. That's right. It's the renewing of your mind. See, this is the simplicity. This isn't hard. You don't have to say, Lord, I bless so-and-so. You say, Lord, you bless them. Thank you, Deborah. Lord, you bless them. And so suddenly it's like God's job. You're just releasing his power in the renewing of your mind. Okay, back to the red ink. Blessing is how you renew your mind. It's how you take every thought captive. It's how you breathe life into the flame. Forrest, you must put your trust in this process. The reasoning and logic of your mind will fail you. Song of Songs 7, actually, Song of Songs 7, 1 through 5, but you guys have got to get it in the Passion Translation. The other Song of Songs, it just isn't good for young people to read. You got to read the Passion version because that connects with what the message actually is, okay? Like every hero in The Hobbit, I don't know if you guys like The Hobbit, but I love The Hobbit because there's heroes in The Hobbit, and we all want to be like the hero. We're all cheering Frodo on. I think I'm going to have my buddy Greg come over this weekend or sometime. We're going to just have a Hobbit weekend. We're going to go through and watch all of the heroes. We're going to watch and connect with the heroes. But the Lord said, Forrest, you go to the movies to watch the hero, and you see what's going on around the hero, and you're just going, hero, stay in the game, stay focused, because we can see where you're going. And so the Lord wants us to each be the hero of our game. But we've got to trust in him in faith because he knows what the big picture is. He's cheering us on. Our community is cheering us on. But we have to go through the fight. So, like the hero in The Hobbit, there's a time to push through and a time to trust. You have your supporters and your encouragers. But this whole process is still an inside job. Frodo, Bilbo, yeah, I got to get the right names. Thank you, Ashley. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And I love my community supporting me. When you get stuck or stumped, breathe, take communion. And I realize I can take communion anytime. It's just a process of the brain. Take communion with me, give me gratitude and praise, and then take your next step. This is so cool. Forrest, things are moving faster than you see. The pot is being stirred, so there is junk coming out. Stay the course. You can't see it, but I can. Just like when you're watching a movie and others can see it. Thank you, Deborah. And you know what? Go, you guys. Go, you guys. This is not about me. And we're going to get to that in a sec. This is about me hopefully giving you guys a vision that's encouraging, because the world needs your voice. The world needs you to matter. The world needs you to make a difference. The world is struggling because too many people have given up on what's in them. So, Forrest, right now you're the main character. So push through. Let your community celebrate you. This is so important. Let your community celebrate them and show them that there's a path for them too. It becomes easier each time. You'll encourage and support the process for many. Okay, we're going to light the flame for many. This is a birthing of your harvest weeds. So go back to, so I started writing Song of Songs 7 today without even knowing. This is the birthing of your harvest wheat. Song of Songs 7, I think that's verse 3 or 4 in your life. If this is what you want to do, if you want to birth the harvest wheat, it's time for you to fight for it. Only fear makes it look hard. The next step, as my wife teaches, is always easy. The next step is always easy. Bless and step, bless and step, bless and step. Renew your mind. Let go of your resentments. There are no resentments in my word. I've forgiven the world. I've forgiven the world. And now I want you to forgive them too. Good morning, Marianne. Great to have you on the call with us this morning. Okay, this is out of Romans 8:8. So here's your guys' homework assignment today. I really want you to invest $10 in yourself today. And I think what I'm going to do is, if you don't have the ability to do this, send me an email and I will do it for you. That's how important this is. I want you to go to Amazon and order your copy of the Passion Translation of Romans, because as I finished up today, what I realized was that everything I'm writing is Romans 8 in the Passion Translation. You can read it in your other Bibles, but it's different than what it is in the Passion. This is right out of Romans 8, so about the middle of it. And I wrote this without knowing that I was in Romans until I got done. And the Lord said, Forrest, you know, you've been trying to get all of this in you. We're wrapping up. We're a couple minutes over today, so thanks, guys, for hanging in there. He said, you just wrote your own version of Romans 8 today, or Romans 8. Here it is. The entire universe is groaning under the weight of waiting. That is why your journey and the journey of so many others matters. Many of you don't know, but don't know the hearts I'm working on. But no matter what number of hearts that I'm working on, yours matters, yours matters, yours matters. How you go through this matters. You want to live in You want to live in and be the hero in a great adventure movie? Do you really want to live in and be the hero in a great adventure movie? I think we all do. The question is, are we willing to do what Bilbo did, or whomever, you guys all know the characters there. This is it, Forrest. This time we're playing for real. The universe is waiting. The universe is cheering. The universe is celebrating. This process will take you to a revelation knowledge of the power of the cross. I do love hearts, Deborah, because the heart is where I'm coming from on this. Thank you. You were crucified. You just never knew it. We were crucified on the cross with Jesus. We read that, we hear it, but we don't know it, is what he told me this morning. You've lived in the dull pain of the flesh, and now you're going to move and live in the real pain. Let me get this right. You've lived in the dull pain of the flesh. Now you will live in both the real pain and the real joy of the crucifixion, glorious and victorious. And we're a little over, so I'm going to stop. Then I started to bring up some stupid questions again. The blue ink came in, and I said, why, Lord, what's going on? And he said, Forrest, stop asking stupid questions. The next step is what matters. Your future is what matters. I always ask questions about why and what happened, and you all are going to do that too. He said, you don't have time to waste on that. The future of your community matters. And I thought, wow, the future of this community is what matters. You've wanted to lead. It's your time. This is what matters. The universe is waiting. My perfect timing is here. And then I played one of my favorite songs by Michael Smith. What's his name, Greg? Michael W. Smith. Called Hear Him Calling. He's calling me home. I'll follow him. He's calling me home. And I'm following him home. And so it's like, this is a season, guys, when your destiny is what matters. It's what God wants you to be. It's what he's called you to do. And tomorrow we're going to pick up with that because I've got some pieces on destiny. Our destiny is what makes us bulletproof. It's what makes us stable and secure in the world. It's what gives us our confidence. It's what moves us out of our ego. It's what moves us into our passion. It's what allows us to be creative. It's what allows us to touch the world. It's what lets me come into Panera Bread this morning. Have no idea who's listening to me, watching people get their food, and just speaking with total confidence because those of you on this call, y'all matter to me. My destiny matters more than what's going on. Meeting with Greg today is such an important thing because Greg has become, Greg doesn't know this yet, but his name showed up in the red part of my journal today. So I know that my relationship with Greg is getting ready to go to a special place because I love the red part of what I write. So I want to encourage you guys today, order Romans 8, Romans from the Passion Translation. It's $9.63. Invest that in yourself. It is glorious. It's amazing. One of these days I will read to you from Song of Songs 7. Again, get that in the Passion Translation. Amazing. It's a prophetic word over what God wants the church to be, which is what he also wants us to be and do. So, hey, Al, good morning. You're going to have to watch the replay, buddy, because we're wrapping up here. We're 17 minutes in. Y'all have a blessed day. The sun is out in Colorado. It's beautiful. I'm reading in Psalms last night, and night before last, and the Lord said, if you doubt, if you don't know who I am, go look into the night sky. David used to look into the night sky, and he said, the proof of who God is written in the heavens. So sometime this summer, get out where it's dark, 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 away from all the lights. I did that one time in Yellowstone Lake, totally dark, and was able to see the glory of the universe, all the stars, all the heavenlies. It tells us who he is. It tells us that he's the great creator. He created you, and now it's time for you to go forth and create and nurture the seed that's in you. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.